Big Brother 27 foot, Vince Panaro's troubles, rumors and emotional strain. As Big Brother 27 barrels toward its finale, houseguest Vince Panaro finds himself at the center of a real-time drama that reaches beyond the game. What began as a missing video message from his girlfriend has spiraled into whispered breakup rumors. It also includes tense diary room confessions and shaken gameplay strategy. Missing message and public speculation. On the September 24th episode of Big Brother Season 27, the show's final 5 were treated to videos from friends and family. While several houseguests saw messages from romantic partners, Kelsey, Vince's girlfriend, was conspicuously absent. His parents appeared, but no clip from Kelsey was aired. Vince visibly struggled, asking, "Did Kelsey dump me?" in emotional moments captured on screen. That silence from Kelsey fueled speculation. Vince admitted in the diary room, "It was great seeing my parents, but I'm kind of surprised it wasn't from Kelsey." He also wrestled with doubts over how his closeness to fellow contestant Morgan Pope might have affected his relationship. The two have shared a bed in the house, though Vince maintains it is innocent and platonic. Breakup rumors and game pressure. The timing of Kelsey's absence feels particularly loaded in the high-stakes environment of Big Brother. Social media quickly turned on the story, with fans decrying achievements between Vince and Morgan. While Morgan has denied any romantic involvement, rumors intensified. Users reported that Kelsey unfollowed Vince on Instagram and told friends she felt done with their relationship. It's not just the relationship in jeopardy, Vince's emotional state could shake up the remainder of his game. The storyline now overshadows strategic play. It turns the season into part social experiment and part real-life relationship drama. Impact on Vince and what's next. With the finale looming, Vince has more than just physical competitions to win. He's battling feelings of doubt, public perception, and possible heartbreak. The silence from Kelsey and his worry about her feelings loom large. He strives to keep his composure and focus. Should Kelsey really have ended things? The stakes become personal. Imagine I don't win any money, Kelsey dumps me, and then what do I have? Moving forward, viewers will be watching not just whether Vince can survive in the house, but whether he can maintain emotional stability under pressure. Big Brother 27 is now about more than strategy, it's a test of trust, loyalty, and resilience. Closing thoughts. Vince Panaro's emotional arc this season has become one of the most compelling subplots in Big Brother 27's narrative. From the missing video to breakup fears and social media backlash, he's caught in a crossfire. This crossfire is between personal life and televised competition. Whether he keeps his head in the game or lets his heart unravel, one thing is certain, his journey will be unforgettable. Big Brother 27 foot star Keanu Soto reveals if he would have gone to the end with Rachel Reilly, exclusive. The Dungeon Master also explains why his brotherly bond with Vince had him consistently trusting him, despite multiple betrayals. Big Brother's house is open once more. Every week, Parade's Mike Bloom will be bringing you interviews with this season's houseguests as they get evicted from the game. Looking at Keanu Soto's game like a D&D character sheet, it's clear what stats the Dungeon Master focused on. Despite becoming a communal house target early on, he consistently rolled high in acrobatics and athletics, winning 7 competitions across the season to avoid eviction. But, while he was doing well in survival, he was lacking the wisdom in one key skill, insight. Namely, his seemingly unfaltering loyalty to Vince Panaro. Despite multiple betrayals and nominations, Keanu entered the final 5 confident that the two guys would look out for each other towards the end. But he was knocked prone when he found out that would not be the case, as he was lied to for the umpteenth and final time. In yet another crucial veto competition, Keanu unfortunately critically failed his sleight of hand check, ending his session in the house. Keanu stood out from the beginning of Big Brother 27 due to his physical presence. But it wasn't his chiseled muscles, but his loose lips that were getting him in trouble. He consistently got into tiffs with Rachel Reilly, despite the two wanting to work together. And he was caught calling Jimmy Hegarty the head of the snake. The DC resident worked to turn the house against Keanu, something that certainly wasn't helped when Keanu said during a veto draw that he would pick everyone off one by one. But he did have one person in his corner, albeit from outside the house, Casey Clark. The season 20 champ won the veto on Keanu's behalf as part of a power he had recently acquired, guaranteeing his safety. And he would go on to pick up where she left off, as he went on to win safety the next 3 weeks. As Keanu proved harder and harder to get rid of, his relationships with two of the biggest players in the game continued to complicate. He felt betrayed by Vince leaving him out of multiple eviction votes, and put him on the block to teach him a lesson during his hoe. Even still, he clearly wanted to work with him, at the expense of him trying to push Rachel onto the block multiple times, who has warned him about putting too much stock in his relationship with Vince. But despite his campaigning, he still wanted to go to the end with the former winner, only to see his prospects snuffed out when she shockingly went out due to the White Locust twist. While Keanu had lost his chief frenemy, it drove him into the arms of the one who would ultimately do him in, when the jury phase kicked off, so did the house's desire to get Keanu kicked out. He got nominated every single round the past 3 weeks, continuing to win his way off the block. The sole exception came during a vote versus Kelly Jorgensen, which came down to a tie that Vince broke in Keanu's favor. That move fortified Keanu's allegiance to Vince, and when the latter won Ho again immediately, he assumed he was safe, with the target set on Morgan Pope. Unfortunately, the misconception would fatally bite the butler in the rear end. Vince chose to put up Keanu, infuriating him and seemingly breaking his trust for the last time. The betrayal was like a stab through the heart, much like Morgan and Ashley Hollis would do to the voodoo doll of Keanu days later during the mastermind's surprise eviction. Now in the jury house, Keanu talks with Parade about how he looks back on his relationship with Vince, and trusting him so much, why he made the pick you off one by one speech, and whether he would have taken Rachel to the final 2, felt your trust was broken with Vince multiple times this season, but you wanted to work with him up until your eviction. What made you feel like you could keep working together? And how do you look back on your relationship? Yeah, let me see. Vinny, quite the character there, huh? Yeah, our relationship was pretty complicated. I felt like he was definitely someone that I would hang out with in everyday life, so that made it easy to just kind of connect with him personally. Game-wise, looking back on it, he really never did anything for my game, aside from keep me off the block. Because he always backstabbed me and would always consistently lie to me. But I've said it before that it felt like we had that big brother/little brother relationship. And it was one of those things where I never really wanted to turn my back on him. So once the jury phase started and Rachel was eliminated immediately, that was very bad for my game, because I did want to stay true to that final 2 and see how far we could go together. I wasn't under any delusions. I didn't think Rachel and I would make it to the end together. Was it possible? Yes, but I did not think that would happen. I felt like she was a much larger target than me in the jury phase. And my strategy at that point was, whoever takes Rachel out, she probably will hold a grudge against, and I wanted to make a final 2 with that person, knowing that she would advocate for me to win. I can't remember what the initial question was, but yeah, I was very, very faithful to Vince. And, had I got the opportunity, since Rachel had left the game, I would have probably wanted to take him to the final 2, just because of the sibling-esque relationship. You also had quite a complex dynamic with Rachel, consistently odds, yet trying to work together. What's your perspective on your relationship, and how far did you plan on taking her in your game before the White Locust twist? How far did I plan on taking her? Well, I mean, to be honest, it was more how far we plan on taking each other. Because that would have been an incredible feat to accomplish, in my opinion. Because outside of each other, the people we were working with were, well, the perception was, at least, that they were on opposite sides of the house. So I felt like us getting to the end together would have been a very crazy accomplishment. But, if I could write it a certain way, her and I would have been sitting in those final 2 chairs together with my resume being so undeniable that I would win. But who knows? Because she was obviously a large target the entirety of the game, and for her to be sitting in the final 2 chairs would have been a tremendous feat, so she very well could have won in that scenario, but, yeah, we had a complex relationship. But at the basis of that, we really did trust each other. She never gave me a reason not to. If I ever didn't trust her, it was because of other people kind of getting in my head saying, you can't trust her. You can't trust her. And that was something that I kind of learned on my journey. I had a couple rules that I had kind of built in my little mental Big Brother notebook there. And one of the rules was, when people give you information, receive that information through their lens. And so obviously, they are trying to do me a service by telling me not to trust her, because they don't trust her. But that just because she may be lying to them, doesn't mean she's lying to me. And I truly believe she never lied to me, and for that reason, I would have taken her to the end, or we would have taken each other to the end if we could. In the beginning of the game, you got into multiple confrontations with Jimmy, and told everyone you would pick them off one by one. What was your purpose behind those comments, and how do you think that affected the way you played moving forward? Oh man, this is embarrassing. You ready for this one? So at that point in the game, what was that? That was picking the players for the veto competition, I believe was when I said I would pick everybody off one by one. At that point,